Hi guys, it's Holly here at Faces and welcome to episode 11 of the Face It podcast. Today I am joined by the lovely and amazing Clare Spalding. She is the CEO and founder of Forever Young Aesthetics and Training Academy, nurse prescriber and practitioner with over 15 years experience in the industry. Clare has also launched her own branded filler, which is the first ever British owned dermal filler called Amazing by Clare Spalding. And I just cannot wait to have this conversation, Clare. So thank you so much for joining me on the podcast today.
Hi, thank you for having me. Very, very nice to be invited.
Oh,
First time I've ever done anything like this before, but it's lovely to be asked. So thank you.
Amazing. Honestly, I really can't wait to have this conversation because I think you've been in the industry for a really long time now. So you will have seen how the industry has really developed and evolved, and I guess the highs and lows of the industry. And I love speaking to people with sort of the breadth of experience that you have because you know so much. And I guess, and obviously you've launched your dermal filler now, which is amazing. Again, you've got so many years experience, so you'll know exactly what a client needs when it comes to a dermal filler. So I can't wait to talk about that with you. But do you want to just sort of go into how you got into the industry? Talk us a bit about your kind of aesthetics journey, I guess.
Life. Yeah, I was a nurse and a midwife for 25 years in the NHS. And this is my 17th year full-time aesthetics.
Wow.
So how I got into it was I was a midwife, senior midwife on call, 24 hours away from my children on a regular basis. So I left because of that all those years ago. Botox wasn't, and fillers weren't known then. So I went to do all my beauty training, and it was luck. I was talking to somebody on the course, and I'd already got my degree in clinical practice. And they asked me, did I fancy going to do some training in Harley Street to train as Botox and fillers? One, I'd never heard of Botox, and two, I'd never heard of fillers because I live in Wales in the middle of the outback. So I'd never heard of it, but went and did it and basically never looked back. So I was the first one to bring Botox and dermal fillers to a little town called Newtown in Powys, where people didn't understand it. And back in those days, it was only for the elite. And there was no BACN, there was no support, there was nothing back in the day. So I was on my own as a nurse doing these treatments alongside I opened a big beauticians, and then I got to 40 staff, and then and 3 clinics, and then decided after several years that I'd go and do my master's because the new prescribing laws were coming out. Mm-hmm. So I went to Manchester University, did my master's in prescribing. Then I went on to do my PhD, and my thesis was ethics in aesthetics. So that's what I did. So ever since then, really, I've kept it very ethical. My practice is very ethical, and moving forward with that into safety and when to say no. Yes, you're right. Everything has changed over the years, going from the elite having it and people that could afford it to very, very everyone having it now, and it's open to everyone. The only downside to that is there are a lot of rogues out there. You know, there's some very, very good practitioners, both medical practitioners, and there's some very good non-medical practitioners. But I'm very open to both sides to it, because as we know, laws are moving forward, and I think it's only a good thing that laws move forward now. Personally, I'm only speaking from a personal point of view and my experience. I think it would be better if it's just a level and everybody's known as aesthetics, not this medic versus non-medic.
Yeah. Do you know what, Clare? I think, first of all, you are literally a book of knowledge when it comes to aesthetics. And I think if I was to go to anyone for advice about aesthetics, it would be you, because you've lived and breathed aesthetics since the beginning. But I completely agree with you. I think keeping everything at a level would be amazing. And, you know, we don't know what's actually going to happen, but that potentially could happen. But I think also it's really refreshing, you know, to hear someone with your breadth of experience and as a nurse prescriber to say that as well, because the medic non-medic battle is something which will, until regulation comes in, and maybe even after that, it will continue to flood.
It will, but at the same time, it's making for bad feeling, and we're all in this together. To me, well, I'm a business consultancy to try and help with the regulations that are coming out and for the CQC registration, because I have my own CQC clinic here, and for the registration for the other people, which is going to be the licensing. Yes. And we've put that together because at the end of the day, if there's nobody to help one another, if we go back to 17 years ago, when I tried to get help from a doctor and they told me no, there was no help because they're scared of you nicking their patients. There's enough patients to go round. People have their own philosophy on why they do it, how they do it, and they should know their morals. And as long as they're well trained and doing what they're doing, who am I to say any different? And I just think that's when I think I lead on to education, both education to the patient and education of the practitioner. That's where the downfall lies. Yeah. And I just think if there was more regulation to do with good schools, academies, whatever you want to call them, and more help out there and stop the backbiting, I think everybody'd work better together. Yeah. I'm a big advocate for safety. I'm an advocate for aesthetics, and I'm an advocate for CQC, and I'm an advocate for lots of things. But the be and the end all, patients will go wherever they choose to go. So we must educate them to go where it is safe, and the people that are treating are safe.
Yeah, I would say that, in the last year or so, clients' knowledge on safety is actually getting really
It is getting better.
It's getting better because you can go on social media. Not only are they seeing amazing work and, practitioners who have amazing videos and, this is how to run a clinic, they're also seeing how things shouldn't be done. They're learning about unlicensed products. They're learning about complications. They're learning about how a practitioner should behave. So the education that clients are actually getting is fed through social media. And I think this is so important to address, because it should really say to all practitioners, you need to keep educating yourself as well. You need to be doing everything correctly. Ordering your prescriptions correctly from a licensed pharmacy. You need to be doing your consent and medical forms.
That's right.
You can all do 3 phases, by the way, just going to plug it there. But clients will start questioning things. Clients are noticing what products you're using. They're asking and they're requesting for certain products. And 10 years ago, when I started getting aesthetic treatments, I did go to a nurse practitioner back then, but I just trusted that they knew what they were doing. I had no knowledge. I had no knowledge about treatments or aesthetics, but it's
you're totally right. You're totally right. Education to the patient is very high, and it's getting better, but it's still not quite there yet. And then it's right. Social media can make you or break you, and there's some very horrible videos out there where actual people that are training other people are telling people to get things from Korea and stuff like that. And it's, that's how people are learning, which is wrong, really. It should be done through the consultation process, which I don't think anybody takes long enough over, and talking about the complications and how things can be put right and how everything moving forward. Yes, I'll give Faces a plug. Their app is amazing, because when I train, because I've got an academy, I push people that way because, it's a good app and it's there to help people and it's safe. There's a lot of how can I say this, pharmacies that aren't following the correct rules. And I think if the pharmacies and then some rogue insurance companies stopped, then that would help too. So moving forward, if you had good training, you had good practitioners, medics, non-medic, and then you had good education for patients and stop the rogues, it would be fine. It would be fine. There's enough patients to go round, even though we're in a recession, whatever you want to call it now. We're really busy. Once you've got your patients, they'll find the money.
And, we've got 3 phases. We've got pay later finance. If you're a practitioner, you should be offering a finance option for your client. not many people have just £1,000 there to just spend on their aesthetic treatments these days.
No, they haven't.
You know,
They
the
haven't.
average
And
person doesn't have that.
I started in a recession back in the day. We were just coming into a recession again, and it was the most scariest time ever to open a clinic, a beauty place in recession. But no, it's fine. You know, you just have to know how to work the market, offer them what you can without cutting. Always put safety at the forefront and always know when to say no. I know it's hard when people are offering you X amount of hundreds of pounds and you'd like to take that money because, you know, it's a business, you're in a business, but you'll get a better reputation if you say no than if to do it.
And it's about retaining that client as well. You know, I'm finding that more clients are actually looking for an injector rather than a treatment. So what they're doing is they're researching to find the perfect injector for them that they can build a relationship with and build a partnership with, who can take them on their aesthetics journey, who can give them the correct advice on the treatments that they advise for that specific person.
That's right. That's right.
I think that, again, that's really important. So, you know, clients are wanting that. And
they are, that, you know, 9 times out of 10, it's loyalty. If you really give them a good service and do the best you can and be honest with their outcomes, you'll keep that patient. And then you build it up slowly. Like people travel, I work in Spain, and people travel over from Spain and from London, and I'm in mid Wales, you know, and they'll come to me. So it's just, I don't, my problem is, I don't do a lot of social media. I've got Lily, she works for me and she does my social media, because I'm in the decade where I'm coming out now, where the youngsters are coming in now. And, you know, like things like this is just like, oh God, all strange to me. But also I'm a big advocate, like I say, for safety, but also for giving back. And I think that's one of the reasons why I won Aesthetics Nurse of the Year back in 2022 with safety and beauty, because of the advocate for safety. And then giving back, I do a free clinic for the domestic abuse. Wow. I give my products and I give my time. I do it once a month on a Sunday, and I did it all through COVID too. In COVID, I went back nursing as well, free, because they were struggling for the drug round, and I went back in the nursing homes and did that. And I also did my domestic abuse, and I've been doing it for 5 years. But it's something I don't talk about, I don't shout about, because at the end of the day, that's giving back. And I think people gave back as well. It's a bit of give and take, but that's just me and the nursing in me.
No, I completely agree. I think, first of all, that's amazing, Claire, and that's really inspiring, and hopefully people listening will also feel very inspired by that. But also, you're so right. I think there's a lot of practitioners in the industry who, you know, there's some that feel very alone in the industry, which is really not nice to hear. But there are some that are very much just in it for themselves. And a running theme which I have with these podcasts is the people that I speak to always say, make friends in the industry, stick together, build your relationships in the industry and with your clients. And every single person I've spoken to has said that. And
that's right. But the problem we have is it can be a nasty industry. If, you know, I've got nothing to lose here. You know, I'm coming out the other end. I will have done 22 years by the time I finished. But there's a lot of backbiting, a lot of nastiness. You know, you take a lot of rap as a medic, as you say, some of the non-medics are really good. You know, you're not, you know, some of the BACN, Save Face, you know, you're not supposed to say anything like that. We're supposed to stick together. Why? You know, we're here. It's not going to change. What we've got to change is we've got to change safety for patients. So, you know, it's not going to change. It doesn't matter if you stand there and say all medics are to do it and all doctors are to do it. It's not going to happen. You know, so you may as well just all get on together and make a living and be happy.
100%. I feel so inspired by this conversation. And also, you know, majority of clients would rather go to an experienced non-medical professional who's been doing aesthetics for 10 years, treatments day in, day out, than a doctor who's just qualified in aesthetics.
Well, I was talking, actually she was a patient, but she was a nurse, and she went to do her training in Birmingham, and she was on, I don't know the school, but she went, and she's actually not practicing now because of what she saw. And there was 2 doctors and a dentist on that course, and they only train medics. And she said the doctor was 80 if he was a day, had never injected in his life because he was a consultant, and the dentist was so used to somebody else holding the syringes, holding the needles, they haven't a clue. I'm not dissing everybody. I'm putting everybody. There's good nurses, there's very good doctors, there's very good nurses, and there's also very good, very experienced, very good non-medics. I don't know how you want to call them, but that's how it is. And I just think if you take, I was saying this, I sat on the Welsh Assembly Board, and I was saying this, if you took out the very good and the very bad, and then just concentrated on the middle ones that are nearly there, but mentorship, that's what's lacking, is the mentorship. I don't know if Faces offer that, but I'd be quite happy to work with Faces because mentorship is a big part. If we could mentor those that aren't quite sure or not quite, but have it there that they really, really want to do well, then let's do it. Let's mentor them to the level they should be, and everybody will be fine.
Yeah, I love that, Claire, because as well, clients, they're paying money. They deserve to have somebody who is educating themselves,
That's
who
right.
is, willing to learn, and be a better practitioner.
Yeah, I think it should all stop. That, if you're scared to put something on these WhatsApp groups because you're scared you'll get shot down, no, if somebody actually know, there are some stupid things you should know and you should be trained in it, and that's the academy's fault. Some things are, what do you think of this? I'm not quite sure today. Well, if you're not quite sure, join my mentorship group. I'll do one-to-one, what goes on in this room. Don't be scared. That's how I teach. I teach one-to-one or one-to, and whatever is said is never repeated. And everyone I've said, they've gone away and they've said, it's been great because I could ask what I wanted. And I'm always there on the end of the phone and no question is silly, but there are people out there that don't want to be like that.
Yeah,
so,
100%. There's a lot of training academies. I speak to practitioners day in, day out who say that they were sold the dream, they signed up to an academy to do their training, and then promised all of this amazing aftercare afterwards. And then they've qualified and they've tried to contact their academy and they hear nothing. And I think it is horrendous. How can you expect somebody to do training in a completely new area, particularly when there's so much to take in on the training days anyway, and then to expect them to remember everything and to not have questions?
That's right. And I just think part of it should be, how I work as well, is they sign up. It's a business. I am a business, and they sign up monthly for my expertise, if you like, and then in that they get half a day, or a day if they want, and come and spend with me, see how it's done, and practice, and they can contact me and go through things, because there's a lot of people out there. I am a business, but there are a lot of people that just answer me, oh, can I just pick your brains? Yeah, you can pick my brains, but stop there, because otherwise it becomes, you're just taking the mick. You've been trained somewhere else and now you're coming to me to ask. But I think if some of the academies just linked on for an extra charge, a mentorship program, it'd be far, far better. I'm talking across the board. I'm not talking now anywhere else, but you're totally right. There are people out there that just want to get rich quick. We are actually treating patients with a product in several areas of the body and the face, and you've got to know what you're doing. It's not a rich quick. People say to me, oh, I could earn more, doing 2 days a week than I do in the NHS. No, it's not like that. And it's stressful. It's really stressful. And I could talk for ages about how to build up a business and how to get a business. And I've been in every pitfall, and about accountants and solicitors and everything like that. But everybody just thinks it's easy. It's not easy. I think another good thing that we could offer is how to build a business and how to build it successfully, because people that I speak to don't even know they've got to have sort of planning from the council.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think students are so focused on going into the academy, doing their training, getting the models. When they finish their training, they're like, oh my God, I've got to create a business. I've got to create branding. get any council license that I might potentially need.
An HMRC is a big one. Everybody forgets to.
And you don't learn that in your training academy.
No, and nurses don't think, because some of them stay in the NHS, they think they're paying their taxes. No, this is a separate identity. I spend a lot of time telling people, just be careful, because I've had a VAT investigation and it's not nice. You have to make sure that you've got a good accountant. You get an accountant straight away. They're on it now. The HMRC are watching all aesthetics people across the board. It's one of those categories. So you have to do it properly, and I suppose, I've been knocking around for a long time and seen it all change. But the youngsters, everybody's younger than me. But the youngsters, just like you say, come into the academy and think they're going to make a mint in that week without doing anything properly, So I just think, and moving on to why I did my own branded filler. It's because it's branded, and because I sourced exactly a pharmaceutical company that are British and British owned, and we went through every product and every molecule of that filler. I know exactly what's going into someone's face, and it's the first British owned. It's called amazing.
It's amazing. I mean, that just says on the tin exactly what it's going to be, guys.
So we've got three, and we named it. There's three different thicknesses, like there is in lots of products. But as is what it says on the tin. So we've got smooth with fine lines, we've got plump for lips, and then we've got contour for cheeks and jaws and anything that's deep onto the bone. You straight away pick it up, you know what you're getting.
Yeah, that's it. Because I feel like, sub-Q, what does that, I mean, I'm not a practitioner. What does that even mean? Contour? Okay, I know that's going to be
right.
My jaw, my cheeks.
Yeah, your nose and things like that. Plump. Everybody plumps their lips, don't they? They don't do much else with their lips. And then smooth is just for little lines, that around the eyes, or for tear trough or something like that. Because I'm not being funny, but I've used Juvederm. I'm only using this as an example. Please don't pull me down for it. But you look at them and you think, hang on, what's the Vicross range, and what's that mean, and where does that go? Well, really, it looks bad in front of the patient if you don't know your product inside out. And there's 2,500 at last count fillers on the market. So how does a practitioner pick a good one and know what they're getting?
Exactly.
Yes, so that's why
practitioners will normally use what their training academy has advised.
That's right.
To, and then it's kind of down to them to then sort of pick and choose other ones to try. So if a practitioner is listening to this and is looking to try a trusted British owned dermal filler made by one of the most experienced practitioners you'll be able to find, what makes this dermal filler kind of different to what they know already, and why should they buy this? Tell us.
So basically, let's start with the outside. It says what it says on the tin. It's an amazing smooth filler, and like we've just spoke about, it only comes in a mil, so you can't go wrong. It comes with the 2 needles that were designed as the same needles that you use in an NHS hospital, so they're super sharp, with 2 different gauges, and then there's always 2. And the packaging is all degradable, so helping the environment too. The boxes you just put in your recycling in the cardboard. It doesn't go in landfill, it doesn't go anywhere else. And even the package with the needle in, that is all disposable too. Nothing goes in the normal bin, nor the needles. The needles go in the sharps, and the syringe is made of glass. So
it's so unique as well.
Yeah, and it's good because it's a glass syringe, so you don't get any seepage from the plastic if they're stood for a long time, or if they're kept quite not in the right temperature. So there's no seepage there, and it's easier to smooth to inject, because when you plunge it, it slides against the glass. There's no snagging. So that's why. They're fully, you can use them on vegans, you can use them on anybody that they've not been tested on animals. And what else have they got? Oh, and the longevity, when we did the longevity for it, we matched it with some very high-end fillers that say that their longevity is the best, as is beyond that. And the bacteria rate they won't. We had to put a sell-by date on them and a use-by date on them because it's law, and obviously it's law to do that. But the bacteria rate is so minute, they would never go out of date. But we have to put a date on them.
Yeah.
It's fully traceable within England. So when you get your code, you know, when you get your little sticker, it'll have a unique code on it. They're fully traceable. And also they're CQC and they meet standard regs for England. So there's a new regulation coming out in December and it's already past that. So if I was selling this filler, which I am selling it through the wonderful Faces website when it's up and running, if anybody wants to use it, they're more than willing, you know, I'm more than willing to give people a try at it. But we have no swelling and we have very little pain because it's right to the limit in the law of how much lignocaine we could put in it. Yeah. And that's how much we've put in.
Oh my gosh.
So it's a mess. I've got to tell you what amazing stands for, right?
Oh yeah, go on.
Amazing stands for Medical Aesthetics Zingy Integrated Natural Gel. And I came up with that.
I love that.
And then everybody goes, it's amazing. Yep, it's amazing.
Yeah, I made it.
It's amazing, and I made it, and it's trademarked as well. So Faces have been absolutely, and Ashley and Ben and all your staff have been amazing to let me advertise it on there. So, and all of them are the same price. There's no different price on them.
It's
everything,
£60, isn't it?
£60, yeah. £60, yeah. And then obviously, if people want to. Now I'm talking to you and I'll be working hopefully with Faces that if anybody wants to use it, if they buy 10 or more, I'll give them free training.
Amazing, guys. So yes. Very nearly up and running on Faces. You can buy Clare's brand new filler. Amazing by Clare Spalding. I cannot wait to start speaking to practitioners and getting their feedback because I think practitioners are always looking for new products to try just so they can kind of compare and find what works for them as a practitioner and what works for their clients. But I'm so excited about this.
Well, we're just about to launch this one with yourselves, and I'm just about to launch Amazing, which is very similar to Profilo, but it's got 8 amino acids in it.
Oh my
God. Injected in the same place as Profilo, but it gives a better lift because of the amino acids. It's cheaper to buy for the practitioner to buy in, but it gives a better result. I've got it in my face, so it's got a better result, and that's going to be called Amazing +8.
Oh, I'm so excited. You know what? Skin boosters. Everyone is raving about skin boosters because they are fantastic. If you're not, if you're a practitioner who is not currently offering skin boosters, you need to get on that straight away. And
I think
it's amino acids is what got me. Love that.
It's amino acids and 8 different types of amino acids. And I worked with the pharmaceutical guys again to make sure that those amino acids help all skin types, not just one skin type. So as long as everybody's over 21, I don't treat anybody unless they're over 21. But after that, it'll do as good on a 21-year-old as it'll do on a 70-year-old.
And you know what? That's so good to hear because I've been speaking to people lately around individualized beauty regimes and treatments, and clients and everybody want something that is bespoke to them. You know, one skincare product, so one serum isn't going to be. There's no one size fits all. So amazing that you've actually worked to find something that is going to give results on no matter what skin or what age the client is.
Obviously it's not going to give the lift on a 70-year-old skin as it is on a 21, but it will give the glow and the plump, and that's what we're looking for, is the moisturizer. It's like when clinics only can afford to hold one brand of skincare range, that isn't enough, because it doesn't suit everybody, and the ones that do are so expensive to buy in anyway that you can't afford to have them all. I've been there, done that. You can't afford to have them all, so this is why I did this, because I want to just help everyone and then do my little bit for the environment while I was at it.
Absolutely. I love that. Let's go back to training academies then, Claire. So obviously you run an academy, you've trained people for years. What would you say makes a great academy? I know we've talked about support, but is there anything else that someone who's listening, who's maybe looking to do aesthetics, should consider when they're choosing an academy to train with?
Yeah, basically, I think the big one is do your research. And when you say that, people say, where do I start? Which is true. Word of mouth is always good, but always make sure when you're asking, don't be scared to ask whoever you ring up for the academy, what's their background? How long have they been doing it? Have they just started last week, or have they been doing it a while? Yeah. Who are they linked to? Where do they get their products from? What's their ethos and what's their background to it? Or why did they start doing it? Did they start doing it because of money, or did they start doing it because they want to make people good practitioners? Yeah. And also, it's because we know that the laws are changing, we think, and you've got to work towards a level 7, we think. See if wherever you go, try and build a rapport with that person so you can build it up. I don't train level 7 at all, but try and place your money where you know you won't have to, there'll be no problem. You can get your insurance. You'll be able to work towards your level 7. They're not going to turn around, which government are terrible at doing. They'll turn around and say, like they did with prescribers, if you've not got a prescriber, you can't work, or if you've not got this qualification, you can't work. So people will end up spending all £4,000-5,000 and then think, that's worth nothing. So make sure that wherever you go, they've been going a long time, they understand the levels that are coming, they understand the regulations that are coming out, and just build a rapport with them, and all CPD credited, and do your checks that the insurance that you're going to get after you get your certificate is viable, really. Yeah. And then the other checks I'd be saying is start asking about how many faces will you be injecting. The stories that I've been hearing actually I went for an interview, I'm not going to say where, and I turned it down because they're very big in Harley Street, very big. They asked me to go and they signed people off and they've not even done a lip. Not one.
No.
Not one live lip.
How can you qualify someone when they've not done the treatment?
That's right. Here I do 1-to-1. I don't, like I said, I don't do 7 because it's going to be, you have to be under this umbrella now, and I'm too old for that. But when I train, they do 10 faces. They do 5 Botox and they do 5 fillers at 5 different places of the face. And people go, what? I only did half a lip, or I did no lip, or I only did one face. Yeah. So I just think, do your homework and just make sure that it's not just a one-day rapid course, that you've got some sort of backup. And mentorship is great. So if they offer mentorship and you have to pay a little bit more, I'd go for that as well. And go with somebody that's been going, faces have been going a long time, because I know Ashley and Ben, their background as well. So, I'm an advocate for them. And that's why I think they asked me, but yes, so I would go with somebody and then look at their background really, and make sure that you're covered and you're not just throwing money away, because they're very good, some people, at the talk and the look, but behind
it's
that,
the look, isn't it? You see, I see some, and it's like with helicopters, this could be your life. Rolls-Royce. It could well be, yes, but
not too many though.
But also you're not talking about the hard work and the graft that needs to go into doing that.
No, I think, I try to tell my people, don't give up your day job until you've built up your client list. It's not, when you're saying you've got to only do 3 treatments a week, that's 52 weeks a year. When I started out, I didn't make any money for 5 years. So, you know what I mean? You've got to be truthful about it. And there are some really good places out there, but just do your homework and give people a shout.
Yeah, I agree. So Claire, you got the Aesthetics Nurse of the Year 2021 award, and you have actually been nominated again this year, which is amazing news. How would you say that sort of having this string to your bow, or this award, has actually impacted your business?
Oh, basically it gets your name out there to a lot of other people, where you don't have to enter these awards and you don't have to be nominated. It's lovely when you do, but it does get you recognition. in other places. I was offered one in December, and then I was took to Dubai in the November by a company. Things you get different opportunities, not as you want them really, and it's nice to have them. But I'd enter any award really. The backing of the sponsors and people like that, awards wouldn't happen without sponsorship. But I mean, they do give you an extra string to your bow, and you get recognised. And people, this is an awful thing to say, they deserve it when they don't like it when people like me win, because I've just come from at the bottom. But I haven't. I'm ticking along, so you get recognised for that. And I think watching some of the other podcasts as well, that people are starting to say that it's good that people are entering these awards. But before, I think years ago, and with some awards, it was always spoken for, you wouldn't bother entering because who'd go to win. Where now I think it's been picked up this last couple of years. So it's nice to enter. It's helped me a lot, actually. My little award has helped me a lot.
And I'm sure it just helps your confidence as well, being like,
confidence
I am a bloody good practitioner.
I don't have the look of some of these glamorous girls, do you know what I mean? And I carry a bit of weight, but I'm normal, and I'm bloody good at my job. And that's why, another plug, I'm having a book written about me, which is called Clare Spalding, The Dream That Came True. Yeah. So we're hoping to look.
I can't wait to read it. We need to get that on Facebook as well.
Oh yeah, I will. But then, to wrap it up, because everybody's probably sick of my voice now.
No, do you know what, Claire? This has actually been, I think, my favourite conversation I've had.
I feel like I say that to all of them, lovely.
No, I don't. You're so down to earth. I think so many people listening are going to be so inspired by your story, and you're so honest. Yep. You're not bullshitting anyone. It's like kind of what you see is what you get. This is what I've done. This is how I feel about the industry. And I think a lot of people are going to be like, do you know what? I can do this. As long as I work hard, I keep educating myself, and I get the right mentorship.
My biggest advice to anybody is just be mindful where you get your training. And once you've got a good standing of training, get all the stuff behind you for law, HMRC and what things you need, then good luck to you. Do you know what I mean? Stay safe and stay well educated and work bloody hard, and you'll make some money.
Amazing. I was going to ask what's going to make a successful practitioner, but you've definitely covered that. And I just love that. I love how supportive you are to practitioners, no matter what background they've come from. It's just caring about the clients and the client safety. And I cannot wait to hear about practitioners using your dermal filler as well.
Oh yes. Let me give it another plug.
Yes. Look, let's see it again. I love it. It's really aesthetic.
It is. It's a bit groovy for the youngsters.
I like it. And it'll be on Faces really, really soon, guys. Of course, we will do some marketing around it when it is on there. And please subscribe to the podcast. Really love doing these conversations. And Claire, thank you so much for joining me today. I've loved that.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. And if anybody wants anything, but if anybody wants me, I'm Forever Young Clare Spalding on Instagram, and they can contact me through Faces anyway. So just give me a shout, and I'm here to help.
You're going to be inundated with messages now, Claire.
Well, it's a business, isn't it? So they can sign up to my mentorship.
Exactly, guys. If you're looking for an amazing mentor, quite literally, Claire is the lady for you. And
I will be there.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you so much, Claire.
Thank you.
And I can't
hope
wait.
I covered everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much.
Take care now. Bye-bye.
At Even UK. So any questions about the range, they can get in touch with you guys or get in touch with us.